Guys, this video is for the U.S. Constitution packet, and this is the last little bit of our learning about our own government in our country. And a lot of people have been asking me, Miss Laura, why didn't we learn about this at the beginning of the year? And I have a very simple answer for that. We have spent our entire year learning about different injustices in the world, whether it's learning about the civil rights movement, gender equality, learning about the Holocaust, learning about genocide, and all of these different things that have happened in the world and the different laws in other countries. And the reason that I always save our own country for last is because we have to understand what it is that we are fighting for. We have to understand what else is out there in the world to understand our own government and to understand our Constitution and what it actually protects us from. Remember that we are very privileged to live in our country. Our country is not perfect. It still has a long way to go to make sure that everyone is receiving the justice that they deserve. And it's important that we understand the things that have happened before us, the things that will happen after us, and the things that are happening around the world and that have happened around the world. And I think that's the best way to understand. When I look at the Bill of Rights, I see it as absolutely beautiful because I know what they're protecting. And the reason I know that they're protecting is because I learned about what's going on in other parts of the world. I've learned about the history and what it took for our framers to write those laws to protect us, okay? So that's why we always learn about the world around us before we learn about ourselves. That way we can learn to appreciate our own history. So let's get started. We have the very first page. It looks like this. And it's just by bullet points, so I'll read bullet point after bullet point and explain it, okay? And this video is going to be in parts. So it'll be like part 1, part 2, part 3, because it's such a hefty packet, okay? So the first one says, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, meaning that there is no higher law, there's nothing that can get in the way of it. 2, it was written by a group of individuals called the Framers, who met at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was completed on September 17th, 1787. The Constitution is divided into 3 parts: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. There are 7 articles and 27 amendments. And remember, amendments are when they had them all written and they had to add a little bit to it to fix them. That's what it means to amend. And we learned that in our last unit. The Constitution divides the government into 3 branches. You guys already know that. It's almost like I planned how we were going to do this. What? You guys have the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Amendments are changes to the Constitution. The first 10 amendments are the Bill of Rights. It provides freedoms and rights to the citizens. The Constitution is currently on display in the National Archives building in Washington, D.C., and the Constitution Day is celebrated every year, September 17th. Okay, so now we're going to go to this page, the very first one, and this one I did print out. Okay, and we're just going to read the little text, and then you guys will be able to answer the questions, and we'll answer the first one together, actually. So, first line. The Constitution of the United States was written in 1787 to replace the Articles of Confederation. The writers, known as the Framers, wanted to form a government that would be powerful enough to run a country, but still represents the rights of the states. The Constitution is known as the supreme law of the land, meaning that every state can have their own laws, but they cannot surpass the one of the overall land, okay? So meaning Florida can come up with a law, and as long as it doesn't break the supreme law, it is okay. Second paragraph. The Constitution is divided into 3 parts: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. The preamble explains the purpose of the Constitution. The articles tell how the government is organized and how changes can be made to the Constitution. And the amendments are the changes that have been made to the Constitution. The first 10 amendments are the Bill of Rights. So you guys already have a lot of prior knowledge before we even read this. You guys know what the Bill of Rights are. You know the 3 branches of government. You guys knew about the Framers. And now we're going to kind of learn a little bit more. So the very first question, it says, use the text evidence. Underline the evidence with the color indicated by the crayon. So we're going to do the very first one, and that one tells me to get red. So I got my red crayon, and it's right here. So instead of writing out your answers, you're going to be just highlighting them in your color. So red says, underline the sentence that explains why the writers wrote the Constitution. We're going to answer that one together. I happen to know that it's in the first paragraph. And it says, let's see, the writers known as the framers wanted to form a government that would be powerful enough to run a country but still represent the rights of the states. So I'm going to highlight that sentence. Or underline it, I guess. So see, I already have my first answer, so I can check that one off. My next one would be blue, and I'm not going to find the answer with you, but I will read it, okay? So for blue, it says, underline the sentence which explains the preamble. Not the sentence, the first sentence that has the word preamble in it, but the sentence that explains what the preamble is, okay? And I will give you a clue, it is in the second paragraph, okay? Yellow says, underline the sentence which explains the article. So again, the sentence that gives you the explanation for the articles in yellow. Green. Underline the word which means the same as amendments. Underline the word which means the same as amendments. And I'll let you know that is in the second paragraph. Orange. Underline the sentence that explains the first 10 amendments. Second paragraph as well. Underline the sentence that explains the first 10 amendments. And we know what those are called. So you're looking for that key term. You know what the first 10 amendments are called. Go back in the second paragraphs and find it. Okay. Now we're going to flip the page. And remember, if I'm going too fast, please pause me. We're going to go to this page. And you guys have done something similar in your, not the Bill of Rights, but your branches of government. So you're going to go to the U.S. Constitution, and you're going to go, the U.S. Constitution can, what powers do they have? The U.S. Constitution has, what does it have? And the U.S. Constitution is. So this is where you're going to kind of give the definition for it, okay? So I'm going to say, I'll give you a little cheat sheet. I'll pick my blue. Let me do, the U.S. Constitution. I'll do is. So I'll go back to my text. And remember, you can take this apart and restaple it if you need to. Let's see. The U.S. Constitution was written in 1877 to replace the Articles of Confederation, blah, 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 blah. I'll go to the last sentence in the first paragraph. It says, the Constitution is known as the supreme law of the land. So I'm going to say, for is, the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And I copied it right from the text, and I was able to fill it out. What is it? It's the supreme law of the land. And you can go into further explanation. I just don't want to give you all the answers. So in this section, please give as much detail as you possibly can. Give multiple details. I just chose one simply for the sake of the example, okay? So the U.S. Constitution can. What can they do? The U.S. Constitution has. What does it have? It has a couple sections. Mention the sections. And it is. What is it? And on this page, the page that looks like this, it says directions. Research, meaning you're going to go on your computer, your books, or you can even ask an adult that maybe knows a lot about this subject if you don't have those things accessible to you. I know that some of you don't, so don't freak out. So it says directions. Research and find information about our Constitution. Record the facts. here in this idea web, okay? So you just need 4 facts, okay? You're gonna go on the internet, you're gonna Google information on the Constitution for kids. Make sure you write for kids, that way you're able to read it on your own. And then you're gonna write fact number 1, fact number 2, fact number 3, and fact number 4. You can even ask Siri on your phone if you have an iPhone, okay? Okay, this page is kind of fun because you get to draw, and I love doing that, even though I'm a terrible artist. It says U.S. Constitution, United States Constitution. Here you are going to draw a picture of what it is to the best of your ability. I know it's a little difficult. And then you're going to write what it is, okay? And the picture doesn't have to be something exact. It could be something that reminds you of the definition, okay? So let's do the one preamble together, and I'm doing it on the spot, okay? So according to my text, it says, the preamble explains the purpose of the Constitution. So I would draw a picture that reminds me of that. Might be difficult, but you guys can do it. Or maybe you can draw a document and kind of write like preamble on it, maybe. And then you're going to write your definition here, which I already have. So it says, it explains the purpose of the Constitution. So I wrote it, one simple sentence that explains the purpose of the Constitution. I would do the same for the articles and then the same for the amendments. This activity is also quite fun. And like I said, this video is going to be broken up into several sections. So this will be the last little bit that we do in this video. This one says the preamble. Okay. Directions. Draw illustrations for the preamble of the Constitution. So the preamble is printed here for you in separate sections. And these are the actual words. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be drawing a picture that represents what is being said in each and every single box. Remember, you don't have to be an artist. This is simply to show that you understand what you are reading. Okay. So the first box, it says, we the people of the United States. What picture can you show to represent the people of the United States? I'm going to draw one. First, let me get my pen. I'm going to draw my little stick people. Of course, I grab a pen that doesn't work. I'm going to draw my stick people, and then I'll color them in later. Like I'll make them different colors and boys and girls later. And then I'm going to draw the United States flag. So I have we the people. I have my flag and then I have people. Second box. In order to form a more perfect union. Ooh, I know what to do. And remember, I'm not an artist, so please don't make fun of me. So I drew a heart being put together to represent in order to form a more perfect union. You can draw whatever you want. Third box, establish justice. How can you represent justice? Fourth box, to ensure domestic tranquility, meaning that we have peace in our country amongst ourselves. This box, provide for the common defense, meaning how we can provide to defend ourselves. Promote the general welfare, meaning how well everyone is doing. And secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. And the last one, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So you're going to remember, again, draw pictures to represent every little section. And you can pause it, draw, and then listen to me again, all right? And this is the last little bit of this video. The next one will go over a review of the Bill of Rights, okay? I hope this video was helpful to you. Please let me know if there's any questions that you need, okay? Bye, guys.